Hey everybody, this show made possible today by Vizar, the only video hosting company recommended by Bruce and Josh Hudson. Check them out at Vizar.com.
Coming up today, we have a special tribute to Sue Hudson, a customer service segment with working with the Color Lab, and a question from one of our viewers.
That's right. Welcome to Photo Entrepreneur TV, the place where serious photographic entrepreneurs learn to profit from their passion.
All right, welcome. And today we are going to do a special tribute to your mom, my late wife, Sue Hudson. And we're doing it today because this is actually the anniversary of her death. She passed away 18 years ago today.
Today, yep.
February 17th,
1996.
Yeah.
So the day we're actually filming the show is the anniversary of it. And a lot of you out there who knew my mom have been sending in, Facebook and tweets and emails and phone calls even, thinking about us, so we really appreciate it.
So she was an amazing lady, and we want to kind of highlight some of the things that luckily my kids, Josh and McKenna, got from their mother's genes.
That's right.
And so there's three things I want to kind of cover today, and one of them is that Sue is such an amazing person. She would never judge a book by its cover. And you've always heard that old adage, right? But I want to share a story, and I don't think Josh has even heard this one, but this was a number of years ago, and we had a woman, a cold call, person just walk in, and she was kind of an older woman, probably looking more in her 50s kind of thing, and she says, "I'm here to talk about a wedding." Now, most people, in fact myself, when I walked into the lobby and heard this conversation with your mom, I assumed that this was the mother of the bride. Sue never assumed that it was the mother of the bride. And she says, "Oh, when are you getting married?" I mean, it was amazing. And come to find out, she was the bride. And so, I mean, that was something that really always touched me. That, and also maybe somebody coming in that wasn't wearing a suit or a tie or fancy clothes or fancy car. She never judged the book by its cover with that. Some people might think, well, they're in torn jeans or maybe paint on their sweatshirt or whatever. Maybe they can't afford our prices. Well, that wasn't the case. So number two is something that you're really good at, Josh.
Well, I'm good at a lot of things. And just quickly, Dad, that whole "don't judge a book by its cover" thing, we have countless stories of this, guys and gals. Just because somebody shows up in a 500 series Mercedes doesn't mean that they're going to spend money on photography.
Yep. Exactly.
Conversely, people show up maybe in an older model Toyota. They get out, maybe not dressed to the nines like some other clients might be. You never judge, ever. Especially in today's economy, because a lot of people that look like they have money don't have money anymore, and the people that don't look like they have money are the ones that have been saving all their life. Okay,
yeah.
So it's a good point there.
Good point.
So number two is being proactive. Okay, my mom was very good at this, and she passed away when I was 13, but I was definitely self-aware enough, being brought up in the business, to see how she was. And it's one reason why I'm so obsessed with policies and procedures, and it drives my dad crazy when I'm like, okay, well, when the session's done and that the file goes here, it doesn't go on your desk, it goes here in the bin, because this is where it's supposed to go. It's part of the policy, part of the procedure. These artists over here just thinking throw crap everywhere. So but in order to run a profitable, successful, efficient business, you need to be proactive, and that's following up with clients. That's going the extra mile and doing things. If you know that maybe you got the order off the lab a little later than you wanted to, and you told the client it was going to be 2 weeks, and maybe now it's going on week 3, don't wait for them to call and ask you where it is. Pick up the phone, call, let them know. Say, hey, just want to let you know it's taking a little longer than possible. I apologize. We're going to get it here as soon as we can. That kind of stuff goes so far. And most photographers just stick their head in the sand and just don't even want to take the phone call.
Well, and one thing is the type of clients that we're trying to attract, they love that. They love when you are proactive with with their life, with their order. You know, they love when you're maybe running just a couple minutes late to their house. I will call them on the way to their house saying, you know, I'm running just a little bit late. They love that. The fact that you're taking the time to inform that. So that's number 2 is proactive.
Yeah, well, and along that lines is my dad and I at lunch today were talking about going on offense. Okay, and that's a perfect example of that. You always go on offense. Anytime, you know, if you have somebody that's maybe not happy, you want to go on offense. You never want to be on defense, okay? You pick up that phone, you call them, and you address what's wrong. Especially nowadays with social media and email, and people can hide behind electronics. And half the time, maybe more than half the time, they just want to know that they're being heard, okay? So if you get somebody who's maybe complaining about something, pick up the phone, call them. Trust me, they will be shocked that you even called them. They will be shocked that you did it right away. And I can't tell you how many times, well, we don't piss a lot of people off, but every once in a while you get someone who's not happy. They just like the fact that we're listening, and we want to do what we can do to help, okay? So go on offense. And then number 3 is what my dad likes to call the power of 6.
Power 6. Sue is one of those kind of people, like her son, who gets a heck of a lot done in a day. And I think part of it was that, yeah, she would write lists. We would call them action lists. But rather than doing it in the morning when you first got there, she would always do it just before she would leave, or we would leave at night. And rather than a whole list of 10 or 12 different things that we need to do, she would limit it to only 6. So you write down, or she would write down 6 items, and then she would go back and look and then assign which one should I do first, second, third, because, you know, it's our human nature just to do the easy things first. And what she would do, she would always do the hardest one first. And so write down 6, and then you prioritize them. And then her goal was always to do it before lunch. And so after lunch, it was what she would call bonus time. And that's where you could really dig into the things that you want to do. I mean, for us, or for me today, we're working on this new commercial brochure and commercial website. And so I want to get all that other stuff done before lunch. So when I come back, I have a clean slate. I can go in and work on the things that are really going to move the business forward.
That's right. And it's something that my mom did. It's something I do. I do it every day. Drives my wife nuts. Melissa, I'm sorry, honey. At night, I sit there and I pull out my pad of paper. I'm old school, right? I'm not going to sit there and do it in a dinky little app or on my phone. It's, you know, you got to, physically writing it down helps, okay? It helps you get it done. I pick 6 things I know need to be done the next day. I prioritize them usually based on cash flow. Which one's going to make us the most money tomorrow? I want to do that first, okay? I want to get some money in the bank. And then, yeah, if I can get all that done before noon, now after lunch, I can really dive into stuff like going and analyzing our Google Analytics and looking at how much traffic we had the month prior and analyzing our bounce rate and doing all that crap that nobody else wants to do, right? I love doing that stuff, but just sitting there and looking at the numbers isn't going to make us money. I want to do that stuff first, and then I can do what I call the fun stuff, marketing geek. So that's your power of 6, and my mom's did it, I do it, we do it. It works. I know it sounds simple, but it works.
Right. So hopefully that's been helpful. Sue, we miss you, but I'll tell you, your legacy still lives on here, not only with the kids, but with the studio.
Every day. Well, now it's time for the featured interview portion of the show, and it's all about customer service today. So for us, why not just go to the source? How about the best customer service person I know, who's Michelle, who's the customer service manager over at H&H Color Lab. Take it away, Michelle. Well, hey everybody, I am here with customer service manager Michelle from H&H Color Lab, and today in our interview, just kind of wanted to talk about customer service and your philosophy and the philosophy of H&H, and a little background with Michelle. She was actually our personal customer service rep for the studio for, gosh, how long? How long would you say?
I would say probably the last probably 10 years. Yeah. Probably 10 years.
Yeah, about 10 years. And I'm sure she's, now that she's moved on to greener pastures and being one of the management team, she's probably enjoying not getting all the phone calls from Bruce about about orders and work and all that kind of stuff. But so really kind of what I want to talk about today is, so you being somebody who is in customer service, and as most people know, H&H Color Lab lives and breathes customer service. I mean, that's why we've been with you guys for almost 25 years. So what would you say your customer service philosophy is?
I would say that our customer service philosophy is, well, one thing we do is create relationships with our customers. Just like being a family-owned company, it's about family, it's about relationships, it's about creating that relationship with the customer on a personal level. Some of our core values at H&H are truth and respect for the individual, integrity, honesty, same kinds of things that how we want to treat customers. It's the same thing internally as it is as dealing with the customers. So as a philosophy goes, I think a lot of that transfers from internally and how we, create relationships, and then helping our customers build their business and making it a better business for them in ways that we can help them.
And that's, I'm glad you brought that up, because I really feel that one of the reasons why we've been so successful all these years is because we have been using you guys as a lab, and you allow us to expand and become more successful. You're always innovating. You're always coming up with new products, new ways for us to enhance our sales. And you guys really think about the end user in mind when you come up with these. I know you and I were talking yesterday about some of the newer products that you're coming up with. And really it's, is it going to be profitable for the photographer to be able to sell this to the end user? So I know as customer service goes, sort of being there for us and helping us along the way, but at the same time, you're always thinking of ways to help us improve. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I would say that also trying to find maybe new or innovative ways for customers to use the products, because just the way you might use the product is not the same way that another customer may use the product. So another thing is really listening to the customer and what their needs are. That's one of the big things, and I think that's what separates H&H a lot of times apart from a lot of other labs, is that we really try and focus in and listen to the customer and what their needs are, and try to find ways to fulfill those needs specifically to them. So through products or through services or whatever it is, whether it's a visit to the studio or whether it's bringing someone in or whether it's modifying a product just enough to be able to make it work for them. So, yeah.
Well, and right now we're doing this interview, we're in the lobby of the H&H headquarters in Raytown, Missouri, and it's an amazing facility, number one, but number two, it's so cool being able to come back here and putting a face to people that we interact with on a daily basis, like yourself or Sharon, who's our new customer service rep, Dave and Amy, and it's just all the people that make our lives so much easier at the studio. And I'm glad that you kind of brought up listening, because for all the photographers out there kind of connecting the dots a little bit, I think sometimes us as artists, if a customer comes in and has a request that's sort of above and beyond what we're used to dealing with, a lot of times our first reaction is, well, they're trying to get something for nothing, or they're being difficult and I don't do business that way. And sometimes you just need to step back, take a breath, and listen, because you just never know that listening and that this request from this client might be something, it might be another revenue path for you. It might be, some other way of doing business. So I'm glad you brought that up.
It's very true. And your dad is a perfect example of sometimes it has to be tweaked a little bit one way or the other. And sometimes it's not as comfortable as other, but you know what? Sometimes that's what it takes to get the product that's, your customer needs or that our customer needs. And I think sometimes you just have to listen and sometimes get creative. So.
Exactly. Well, and there's a lot of labs out there. Well, not as many as there used to be. A lot of them gone out of business, although you guys are doing very well. And we've obviously been with you for a long time. A great lab. If you're looking for a lab, we do recommend H&H. But there's a lot out there. You really have to find one that you fit into, the culture of your business and the way you want to do business. For us, what makes you stand out is we don't feel like a number. We never have. And we're one of many, many, many customers, but we never feel that way. We feel like family. So, kind of basing on that, what are some other ways do you think H&H stands out from the other labs out there in the industry?
I think that, obviously, I think our customer service is phenomenal. I think that the way that we're able to work with each customer and making them feel a part of our, like you said, like they're not a number. And that, by far, I think is our best attribute. Also, I think that customer service working with production and our improvements in our production system, specifically when we went into and really tried to make the company more lean, we've been able to work smarter, not harder. And that makes us different than a lot of other labs in that we work a lot leaner than we used to. So that helps translate into not having to raise prices, being able to offer more products and being more innovative when it comes to things like that. So I think those are a couple of the things that set us apart from other labs as well.
Yeah, I would totally agree, and sort of connecting the dots back to the photographer here, us as business owners, I mean, we really need to connect with our clients and develop new products for them to purchase and enjoy. And, so I think when you're looking for that lab partner to partner with, you really need to find one that's got a similar philosophy. You guys treat us the way that we want to treat our clients. And so that's just part of our culture, our DNA. And with that said, if somebody was looking for a lab, how would they get in touch with you guys and become a customer?
A couple different ways. One, they're always welcome to go to the website. If you go to the website, there's a place where you can actually click on Become a Customer. It's it's like a form. It just has your contact information, your billing information, and zip code. Or you can call into customer service and we can help walk you through that as well. Or you can see us at trade shows and we can help you with it there, or anything like that. Email us, but we can either walk you through it or do it for you, or you can do it yourself on the website. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking a few minutes here. I know you're very busy back there. It's the holiday season, so just thank you for everything you've done for us and the business and our family. And with that said, I'm Josh here with Michelle, Customer Service Manager at H&H, and we'll talk to you next time.
I love working with H&H, and we've been very fortunate to have this great partner for many, many years. And it starts at the top with Wayne and Shirley Hobb, the owners, and it goes all the way down through the ranks, but they are amazing.
They have helped us make a lot of money over the last 31 years that we've been in business. And their customer service, second to none. We learn how to be better in serving our customers from our lab. I mean, go figure, right? Thanks, Michelle, for taking the time. All right, well, it's time for my favorite part of the show, Ask the Hudsons, because I get to feel like the anchor man with my trusty piece of paper here, which is a real question. I had somebody ask, do you actually take real questions? This is a real question. It is from Ted in Minneapolis.
Hi, Ted.
How's it going, buddy? Ted asked, just viewed episode number 6, not surprisingly, excellent as always. Well, thank you, Ted. You're going to give us a big head here. We're really enjoying getting these out for you, by the way. You talked about the importance of in-person sales sessions. I get that, and I do it myself. My question is, what is your answer when the client asks, why can't I view it online, or my schedule is difficult, why can't you send me a proof disc or via email? And finally, I'm not sure, I need to go home and I'll let you know. He basically Ted wants to know, how do we answer those kind of questions? Because as you as photographers and I know, we hear that all the time. So I will ask the sales master here, what are some things that Ted could do to cut down on that, Dad?
Well, first of all, most all of those can be handled prior to the sale, prior to the session in the consultation. And I have to say, the consultation is probably one of the biggest parts of the equation when it comes to doing what we do. All those kind of things we kind of bring up during the consultation. I think one of the main things is you're talking about, why can't I just see them online? Why can't I just do this? Why can't I just do that? Well, you have to believe in this process. Just like last episode, you have to believe in, or maybe it was episode 6, you have to believe in the selling large wall portraits. And we showed you photographs or portraits from our homes, and how we believe it. You have to also believe in the sales process. So in the consultation, that's where you try to demonstrate to the potential client at that time that this is a benefit to them. If you put it online or put it on a disc, they're not going to be able to see it as well as projected on the screen. They're not going to be able to see the imperfections as much. We want to be able to point those out so we can fix them, those type of things. So you have to believe in it. And then number 2, you just have to educate them that this is the way that you do it, and it's a benefit to them.
That's right. And then kind of the second part of his question, Dad, is, you get the client that says, I'm not sure, I can't make a decision today, I need to go talk to my husband, can't you just put them online, that kind of stuff. And my dad and I were talking before we started filming, and we don't get a whole heck of a lot of that. My dad's been projecting for gosh, I don't know what, 29 years, 30 years, whatever.
Yeah.
Long time. So one thing my dad always talks about is, number one in that consultation, you're going to set the tone. This is how you're going to see your images. If you're getting a lot of this, if people are having a hard time making up their mind, odds are you're probably showing too many images. Am I right, Dad?
Probably taking too many images. And that's one thing. Back in the film days, every time you click the shutter was $2.50. So we didn't take as many images. Nowadays with digital, obviously it's free, so you can take a lot more, but that doesn't mean that you have to show a lot more. I think showing less is better. Say in the case of a family portrait session, maybe we have the whole family scenario. I'm going to show probably the best 5 or 6 of that scenario. Don't show them every single one. They don't need to see everyone. If they trust you as an artist, they're always going to trust you as being able to edit out all the ones that they don't even need to see. And once again, that's another benefit or perk to them, that you're not going to waste their time. We're going to take care of those. You're not even going to have to worry about seeing those. So narrow them down a lot more than maybe where you're at right now. And let people know from the beginning that this is going to be the time that we're going to allocate for you to come and see these. So if there's any decision makers out there that want to come, this is a time for them to come. You talk about all that stuff in the consultation prior to ever taking a photograph.
Absolutely. And my dad and I were also talking that anytime you get somebody who maybe is having a hard time making that decision, it's a good opportunity to try maybe a trial close, saying, well, you know what? Why don't we schedule time to go to your house? We'll project them onto the wall, and we'll see if we can narrow them down even further. That way your husband can be there, and we can do that even more. If this person's a serious buyer, they're going to say, wow, that sounds great. Let's go ahead and do that. If they're just kind of dipping their toe in the pool to see if it's warm, they're probably going to say, no, we don't need to go and do that. I just need to talk to my husband. I need to talk to my husband, whatever, right? We've heard all that. But once again, it doesn't happen all that often in the projection sale, because he does a lot of that stuff in the consultation. If somebody's not down with our process, odds are they're not the type of client we want to work with, and usually we don't end up booking the session with them. So consultation, I think, is what you need to take away from this, Ted. Try to educate them a little bit more than you're already doing.
Alrighty, so now we come up on my favorite part.
It is your favorite part.
The takeaway. I like to connect those dots, as I always say. And today, with your mom, I'd have to say, number one, be proactive. I like what you said, go on offense. That's very important. Don't wait for the client to call you. You be the one to call them, right? Number two, don't judge a book by its cover.
Never.
Right?
Yep.
Number three, the power of 6. Rather than writing a whole list of stuff that you need to do, just kind of condense it down to maybe the top 6, or maybe start out with your training wheels, maybe the top 3. Write them down and then go back and prioritize. Always do the hardest one first. And what else do we got today, Josh?
Well, just about being proactive in your business, okay? Policies, procedures, even if you're just one person, you need to set up your business like it's a franchise, okay? Because someday you might get an employee. Wouldn't it be nice to have a manual of everything that employee needs to do? Okay, I mean, Starbucks didn't start out with 10 gazillion stores. They started out with 1, right? But it's those policies and procedures that allow Starbucks to recreate the experience everywhere you go, whether you're in the Reno airport or downtown Seattle at the flagship store. My latte tastes the same. It's just, I don't know how they do it, but they do it. And I love you, Starbucks, local Seattle boy here. So you got to be proactive, and kind of go into Ted's question about projection. And if you have the right policies and procedures in place, you're going to cut down on a lot of that backlash that you're getting from clients wanting you to put them online, send them a disc, all that kind of stuff. So,
good point.
Yep.
Good
Build
point.
the system, work the system.
And lastly is relationships. Relationships with your vendors, especially your key vendors, like your Color Lab. I would say look for the type of vendor that wants to take as much time working with you as you do with your own clients. I think that's very important.
Absolutely.
So that's it for another show.
Wow.
Can't believe
They fly by. This is number 7.
They fly by. We're getting some amazing comments, and we have quite the following in the UK. it sounds like from the comments I've been reading over there in London town, which is kind of cool. If you have any questions or comments, please take time to put them down below here, and we'd love to answer them. How about the Ask a Hudson question also?
Yeah, well, if you're watching this on iTunes or YouTube, you're going, well, where do I put a comment? You got to go to mystudiomentor.com first, click on this episode, episode 7, post your comments below. And
Actually, 8.
Is it 8? It's 8?
It's 8.
Well, it is flying by, isn't it? Anyway, so also if you want to ask us sort of a question directly and possibly get it on the show and win yourself a free t-shirt, go to mystudiomentor.com, click on Ask the Hudson, submit your question, and if you're like Ted, you'll be getting a t-shirt in the mail once we read that on the air, and it's just a great way for us to answer direct questions and also keep the show relevant to what's going on with you, the folks out there.
That's right.
So this is Photo Entrepreneur TV, the place where serious photographic entrepreneurs learn to profit from their passion.
See ya.